South Africa is at a crossroads. The ANC has failed. Corruption, crime, and economic collapse are now part of daily life. But what about the so-called alternative? John Steenhuizen, leader of the DA, recently made shocking remarks. He dismissed concerns about farm murders. He brushed off the issue of land expropriation. And most importantly, he refused to take a strong stance against the very policies destroying South Africa. But why? Is the DA really an opposition party? Or is it just the ANC in a different color? Today we uncover the truth. Because while Steenhuizen is the face of the DA, Helen Zille is the one pulling the strings. And if the DA gains power, will anything truly change? Let's find out. The DA used to stand for property rights. Back in 2018, they opposed the ANC's move to amend the Constitution for land expropriation. They fought against forced land grabs and championed private ownership. But not anymore. Recently, Steenhuizen downplayed land reform as if it wasn't a real issue. He dismissed concerns about farm murders, calling them exaggerated. Exaggerated? Tell that to the families of thousands of farmers murdered in their homes. So, what changed? Well, the DA is desperate for votes. And instead of standing firm on principle, they have softened their stance, hoping to appeal to the same voters that support land expropriation. In 2018, they fought against it. In 2023, they were silent. R.W. Johnson, a well-known political analyst, said it best: "The DA has lost its backbone. It wants power, but it's afraid to take a real stand." So is the DA protecting property rights? Or are they just waiting their turn to enforce ANC policies under a different name? Helen Zille, a name that keeps resurfacing in South African politics. Most people know her as a DA leader, but what many don't know is that she was once an ANC activist. Yes, before she led the DA, Zille was exposing apartheid-era abuses alongside ANC members. Now, of course, exposing corruption is admirable. But here's the problem. Did she ever really leave the ANC's ideology behind? Under Tony Leon's leadership, the DA was a true opposition. It challenged race-based policies. It fought against government overreach. But when Zille took control, things changed. The DA started accepting racial quotas. They became less aggressive in challenging the ANC. And today, under Steenhuizen, they are practically silent on major issues like land reform and farm murders. Coincidence? Or is Zille's influence still shaping the party's agenda? Political historian Herman Guillaume warned years ago that the DA was moving leftward under Zille, and he was right. So the question is the DA still a true opposition party, or just a rebranded ANC, controlled by someone who never really left? Now, the DA's biggest defense is simple. At least we govern better than the ANC, do they? Yes, the Western Cape is economically stronger than other provinces, but let's look at what they don't talk about. Crime and safety. The Western Cape still has some of the highest crime rates in the country. Gang violence is out of control. Farm attacks. What has the DA done to protect farmers in their own province? Nothing. Land security. The DA has made no real effort to secure land rights for rural communities. So while they brag about better governance, their actions don't match their words. And that brings us to the big question. If the DA can't even fix these problems in their own province, why should we trust them to run the country? For years, the DA positioned itself as a party against racial policies. But today, they accept ANC-style affirmative action. They avoid questioning B laws, and Steenhuizen himself refuses to challenge racial hiring quotas. How is this different from the ANC? Let's compare. Policy ANC, DA now B, and racial hiring, ANC, supports, DA, supports. Land expropriation, ANC, supports, DA. Unclear farm murders action, ANC, ignores, DA, ignores. The pattern is clear. The DA is not the opposition they claim to be. They are simply a different version of the same ideology. And if they win, will anything change? Or will South Africa just get more of the same? John Steenhuizen is not the real leader of the DA. Helen Zille still pulls the strings. And under her influence, the party has become weaker, more compliant, and more like the ANC than ever before. So ask yourself, if the DA refuses to stand against land reform, if they refuse to protect farmers, if they continue to embrace ANC-style policies, what makes them different? Are they really in opposition? Or just another version of the ANC? If we don't start asking these questions now, we might wake up one day to realize we voted for change, but got more of the same. South Africa is running out of time. We need real opposition, not fake alternatives that bow to the ANC's agenda. So before the next election, ask yourself, are we truly getting an alternative or just another ANC government in disguise? The choice is ours.